Hi everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Canadian version of a Pakistani classic, ground beef with peas pilau. Alright, first I'm going to let you know what we need. We're going to need 1 medium to large size onion sliced, 2 heaping tablespoons of garlic and ginger paste. If you don't have garlic and ginger paste, you can grate up 6 cloves of garlic and about a 1-inch piece of ginger, fresh ginger and fresh garlic. I have 1 cup of frozen peas, 2 Knorr cubes, 2 cups of rice that has been washed and soaking for about an hour, 450 grams of ground beef. And for the spices, we're going to need 8 pepper berries, 2 green cardamoms, 1 black cardamom, a smallish piece of cinnamon, and 3 cloves. We'll also need 2 teaspoons of cumin seed, 1 heaping tablespoon of coriander powder, 2 heaping teaspoons of cumin powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. We're also going to need 1 teaspoon of garam masala and 3 tablespoons of kasuri methi or fenugreek leaves. Okay, we're also going to need about 1/4 cup of oil. I recommend using canola oil or an olive oil and canola oil blend for this recipe because we need to cook our onions for quite a while, so olive oil will just kind of smoke and burn. So this pot has been heating up, and to it I'm going to add our whole dry spices. And I'm going to go ahead and add our onions when they start to smell fragrant. Okay, so we're going to cook these until they get golden brown. Just keep mixing them around. Watch them closely because once they start to turn brown, they can burn quite easily. So keep your eye on this. Keep stirring them until they're golden brown. Okay, so we got our onions cooking here. They started to cook. But I just also wanted to mention to you that we are also going to need 1 can of, I'm using Rotel tomatoes. I'm using the Rotel tomatoes mainly for convenience, but also because these have green chilies in them as well. So we'll get that green chili flavor without as much heat as we would if we used fresh green chilies. So again, that's 1 284 ml can of Rotel tomatoes. Okay, so our onions are starting to brown here, as you can see. They're just starting to turn. So I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic and ginger paste now and give that a good mix. Be careful if you're using the paste because it's going to sputter. And give that a good mix. Okay, now that that's all mixed in, I'm going to go ahead and add my tinned tomatoes. And again, give that a good mix. And we're going to just let this cook now and cook down these tomatoes until they're super soft and almost. Okay, so I just realized that I forgot to add my cumin seeds. So I just cleared a little spot here and I added in my cumin seeds over here. Don't forget, like I did, add them at the beginning with the rest of your whole spices. And then they'll really help to flavor up your oil and your onions and tomatoes. If you forgot like I did, it's okay. Just clear a spot, throw them in. They still have plenty of time to flavor that oil. So as you can see, our tomatoes are really starting to come down and cook down here. And just kind of help them along, kind of smushing them up as you cook it and as you stir. As you can see, these tomatoes are really starting to cook down here. They're almost like sort of like a jam consistency. But you can just help them along by just squishing them up here. Any of the larger pieces. Looks good. They're almost ready to add our meat now, so just want to give it 1 or 2 more minutes. This total time to cook down these tomatoes has been about 5 to 6 minutes on a medium-high heat. Okay, so our tomatoes are looking really good. Our onions have broken down. Our tomatoes have broken down somewhat. So I'm going to go ahead and add our spices now. That's the cumin, paprika, coriander, and turmeric. I'm going to put that in there. Give it a quick mix. Get it all incorporated there. You can really smell the aromas. It smells delicious. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and add our ground meat. Just break this up, mix it up. Breaking it up as you go and incorporating everything. Continue to cook your ground beef until it's cooked through. You don't want to have any more red in there for when we put in our rice and our peas. So just keep on mixing it. Any brown bits on the bottom, just scrape them up. They're really going to add some good flavor into your dish. All the bits in there, just scrape them up and incorporate them in. Okay, so our ground beef is good and browned. Our tomatoes have had a chance to break down a little bit more. So now we're going to add our 1 cup of peas and our fenugreek leaves and garam masala powder. Give that a good mix again and cook it for another minute or 2, and then we're going to go ahead and add our rice. Our dish has been cooking for a couple minutes now, so let's go ahead and pop in our Knorr cubes. I'm just going to use 1 today because they are a little bit salty, If it needs more salt, I'll just add a little extra salt towards the end. But for now, I'm just going to add in 1 Knorr cube. Mix that around, break it up. And then I'm going to add our rice. So, got our rice in there. Now we're going to go ahead and add 3½ cups of water to our pot. I've got already hot water here. I boiled it in the kettle and it just cooled down for a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and add that. Again, that's 3½ cups of water for our 2 cups of rice. Give that a little stir. Look at that, that looks delicious. Okay. Now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cover this pot with the lid and with a tea towel as well to help lock in all the steam there. Okay. So just a nice clean tea towel. Add it on with your lid. And then we're going to reduce the heat to medium low and set a timer for 20 minutes. And now don't touch that pot for 20 minutes. You're going to be tempted to open the lid, but don't do it. Otherwise you'll spoil all the rice. While that's cooking, instead of just sitting here watching the pot, you can go ahead and start cleaning up all the dishes that you've made. You've got 20 minutes to clean the kitchen. Okay, so our rice has been cooking undisturbed for 20 minutes now. So we're going to shut off the heat. And we're going to put this aside. Remove it from the element and just let this rest now for another 15 minutes undisturbed. Okay, don't open the lid, nothing. Just let it rest. All right, our rice has been resting for 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the timer off and we're ready to plate. Let's see how this looks. Oh yes, look at that. Delicious. So we're gonna just kind of decanter the rice a little bit. Just gently bring up the rice. Give it a good toss. This is tricky with one hand, but do our best. Okay, you can go ahead and put it into a serving dish or you can serve it in the pot. I think for today, for our family, we're just going to serve it into this pot and get it onto our plates and into our tummies. I have a little bit of washed and chopped fresh cilantro. Throw that on top for some garnish. We love cilantro in our house, so I'm going to put a little bit more. And that's it. Bon appetit.